Alrighty, what is up? Welcome back to BlazeTech. Now, today we're going to be talking about video cards and breaking down for pretty much fundamentals, what you should buy, what you should not buy. Now, if you're American, because I'm Australian, this is primarily for Australians. Right now, we're not really in a situation where prices are super inflated or it's called gouging, and essentially what we are is in a situation of we don't have much stock available because supply and demand and stock levels of each different companies. So today I'm not going to go into any benchmarks or anything like that, but I'm just going to give you an opinion of mine, which is if I was your friend and you ask me what GPU I want or what you would want, then this is pretty much what I would recommend. So 1080p. If you're looking at 1080p, no matter if you want to look at either the RTX or the AMD, 1080p medium to high settings, you'd be looking at something like a RTX 4060, 8 GB of VRAM. Now you can get these for about $450 to about $480. Please, I beg you, do not buy from Amazon or Austin Computers for these exuberant prices of $500+. You're gonna want to buy it for around $780, because if you buy it for $500 and over, then essentially you're getting ripped off, and I don't want you to get ripped off because being ripped off just sucks. So that's a good 1080p card for medium to high settings, and it won't break the bank per se as much as these other cards are. So if you want to look at AMD side, now when you're looking at something like an RX 7600, there's two options. You can either go the 8 GB version, which is $429 if you want to save money and you don't want to buy Nvidia. So you're looking at average of $430 for 8 GB of VRAM, and you're also looking at RTX 4060, 8 GB of VRAM. If you want to save maybe about $30-40, you can look around. Maybe you want to buy AMD over Nvidia. However, they have a 16 GB version, so if you want more things like textures, lighting effects, all that sort of stuff within video games, then looking at something like 16 GB of VRAM might be up your alley. But of course it comes at a cost. So if we look at the Asus variant, which is RX 7600 XT, same card, however it's got pretty much double the VRAM for a mere price of about $150 more, $110 more, depends where you shop. Once again, don't buy from places like Amazon. They're gonna charge a mint and a half for the same thing. So if you can't find anything or anything's out of stock, then maybe come to Newegg, have a look, and make sure when you're looking at this, you look at the 16 GB variant that you want, if you want that, or if you want to save some money and go for a 8 GB variant instead of the 8 GB RTX 4060, then maybe you want to save $40, put that towards let's say a bigger hard drive, bigger SSD, or you might want to upgrade from 16 GB of RAM to 32 GB of RAM. You can play with a little bit of money within that $40 bracket between these two cards. However, of course, it's going to come at a price point if you want 16 GB of VRAM over the 8 GB of RTX 4060 offers. So depends what is up your alley, depends what you'll buy, obviously. Now, in my opinion, I think that buying higher VRAM is better just because of what games demand now. So for me, I'd rather buy the 16 GB VRAM over the 8 GB of VRAM on the RTX 4060 card. Now, if you want to look at things like 1440p, we're looking at about $930, and this is a 12 GB card, and once again $999 over $1,000 at high tech. Maybe it's because of limited stock, that could be an option, but you could save about $70 if you look around, buy from other companies like MSI, Amazon.com.au. Their price is not ludicrous. It's not like $100 more, but of course, if you can grab it for $930, then I recommend grabbing that, of course, over $1,000. Now, the direct competitor to this card on AMD's side is the RX 7800 XT. Now, the price difference in this is a bit strange. Pretty much this is cheaper because AMD's card runs a little bit hotter, so this card will run nice and cool. However, this card will run hotter, not exuberant or anything like that, but that is also why the AMD side is cheaper, because it's got a little bit of a drawback. Now, you can pick this card up for cheaper, and you do have 16 gigabytes of VRAM instead of 12 gigabytes, pretty much for $130 less. So if you want to save some money, then definitely go with a AMD build with a 7800 XT if you're looking at maybe 1440p, or if you really want to crank your games up on 1080p, then a RX 7800 16GB VRAM graphics card would definitely perform better than a RTX 4070. Of course, you don't get stuff like ray tracing. However, if you're better with the compromise of buying the AMD card over the Nvidia card, just because you have more VRAM as well as it's cheaper, then going down that route will be more beneficial for you. Moving on, if you're looking at high-end 1440p or 4K gaming, a RTX 4080 is worth it. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the 50 series in this video, mainly because I don't, in summary, I don't believe that the 50 series of graphics cards are worth it. Between the 4080 and the 5080, the price difference is very minimal. So in my opinion right now, the 4080 is worth more than the 5080, or even if you're thinking a 4070 over a 5070, then that would be my go-to. Get a 4070, save some money, because the price to performance ratio is far better on the RTX 4070 over the 5070. Now, this is exuberantly priced, mainly because stock is very limited everywhere. But if you want to get it, you can. However, I just want to show you guys a comparison real quick between the 4080 and the 5080. So if we go search, now if we look at these two, right, they're both from ASUS. 4080, 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and a 5080, which is 2000. Let's say it's $2,700 on the low end. It's nearly a $1,000 difference. The performance, it's mediocre. It's probably not even 20% better, depending if you're playing on 1080p, 1440p, or 4K. The biggest difference you will see is probably 1440p instead of 4K as price to performance wise. But you know, if you want to save nearly $1,000, $1,700, please buy a 4080 over a 5080 right now. Might be different by the end of the year, but right now is not the best time to buy a 5080 because it's exuberantly priced. Save yourself money. So if you don't like these options and you want to go the AMD route, then once again it's cheaper. We're looking at about a $600 difference, depends on where you buy it from, of course, and you're getting 20 gigabytes of VRAM. So if you want to save some money, save about $600. $600 in a computer build can get you a vast amount of things depending on what you want to upgrade. And right now is a decent time to buy, but these are heavily out of stock everywhere. As you can see, that card doesn't work. If I look at the 24 gigabyte version, now these are in stock, but they're not really worth it in my opinion. Or if we look at another 20 gigabyte variant, and out of stock. As you can see, the 20 gigabyte VRAM series is pretty popular. hence why these prices here are pretty much just left for where they are. Right now, I don't find 24 gigabytes of VRAM necessary for games. Like even 16 gigabytes, it's on the new minimum standard. However, if you're looking at a RX 7900 20 gigabyte VRAM, this is pretty much your base standard, and you got 20 gigabytes this here. It's a bit future proof, but when you look at something like the 24 gigabytes of VRAM, I don't think we're going to need it for a while. Maybe the 6000 series will come out, or maybe the 9000 series will come out, where it just performs a lot better, and maybe we'll be utilizing VRAM more in the future. But this is pretty much just what you're going for. You can choose these options. I'm going to link all of them down in the description for you. So quickly running through it again. If you want to play 1080p, RTX 4060 Nvidia, AMD RX 7600 XT, 1440p or high-end 1080p, depending if it's a AAA game or not, which is a RTX 4060, RX 7800 XT, the 16 gigabyte variant, or a 4080 if you want to do 4K, or a 5080 20 gigabyte VRAM version for about $1,300 if you want to do 4K gaming or high-end 1440p. But other than that, like this made sense, and if you guys have any questions or anything like that, then comment right down below, and we'll see you guys next time. Math really is killing me, but I hope you are having a good day, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm probably going to make a video for April, see how cards are, give my opinion once again, and yeah, stay cool.